Coach, I love what he has to say, but when I think Andrew Luck, I don't think durable. It makes me nervous when he's got any injury, a lingering one. What is your level of concern for Andrew Luck?
It's not very high. I think one of the benefits of going through an injury like he went through is you start to understand how to come back from those things. You start to understand how to treat injuries, how to take a step back and maybe some preventative steps. And when you're young, you're so programmed to push through everything. And sometimes as you get older, the best thing you can do
The reason why we're programmed, because we got coaches like you from the time we're little. Listen, buddy, suck it up.
Get out there.
You need to know the difference between pain and injury. It's a fine line, and as you get older, you start to understand that. I don't love the comparison to Kevin Durant. I think as soon as you put that out there, everybody assumes that this is a lot more serious than it is. I'm more in line with listening to what Andrew said about this is a calf strain, and he's trying to be smart about it and put himself in the best position to start this season.
Frank Reich put it out there, actually made that.
Yes.
He should not have said that at all because it just opened a floodgate for reporters to follow up
Well,
with.
I think that right now we're going through an era where athletes, we watch sports, and to see someone's career altered like Kevin Durant, and to think how many athletes out there right now have some type of tightness in their lower leg or some type of calf strain, you would have to correlate thinking, okay, calf strain, Achilles, Kevin Durant. I know when I tore my calves, we did a lot of work on my ankle and my Achilles because I have soreness in both, and it was put out to me. You must clear these things up. So I don't have a problem with Frank Reich talking about it, because the reason why I know the calf injury was significant, he didn't say x-ray. He said we had an MRI. We had some scans. We had some images. So that lets you know that there was some seriousness to it. In the whole medical world, I guarantee you change when Kevin Durant went down, because there are a lot of people out there having the philosophy, if you have a strained calf, don't worry about your Achilles. And after Kevin Durant, if we didn't learn from that, the coach should learn from that. Andrew Luck, that's his profession. He should learn from that. And one thing we do as athletes, when we get a significant injury, we look up any other athlete because there's no comparison. Normally when I go to the doctor tells me, oh, you have 4 to 6 weeks. Well, that might be for the weekend warrior. That might be for the normal person. I want to compare my injury in real time to someone that has the same type of DNA, same type of mentality, and to see what does history say, and if there's some good notes out there trying to duplicate that, or even, as we talked about with Kevin Durant should be looking at Kobe, saying, how can I get back before Kobe got back? So I don't mind the extra attention to the calf after what happened to Kevin Durant.
One of the things that we always want to do with our athletes is not give them a timeline, not say 4 to 6 weeks, not get into that game, because every human being is different.
And you get backed into a corner.
And, well, it's not even, everybody heals differently. So what's 4 to 6 weeks for the layman, maybe 2 to 3 weeks for the elite athlete. But sometimes if you put a timeline in somebody's head, they think, I've got to stay out 6 weeks, or I've got to stay out 4 weeks, or I need to come back in 2. And that's not fair either. Both of those ways.
And we should mention that Andrew Luck himself said, I'll be ready to go when the regular season starts. Assume he comes back, he's healthy. How good could Andrew Luck be? What is his ceiling, Nick?
Well, listen, he's had the talent of a league MVP since basically year 3 of his career, and then starting in year 4, he started to deal with that shoulder injury.
And I think right now is the appropriate time, because I don't think you're going to bump into Andrew Luck. I think you should look into the camera and apologize to him for criticizing him. She asked what the ceiling is. First is an apology.
Okay, all right, well, so I was getting there, my friend. But so Andrew Luck is, of all athletes across sports, the one that I feel most badly about the way I evaluated in the mid part of his career, because he was so hyped coming out of college. He was the best prospect since John Elway. The Colts said, hey, Peyton, we'll see you later. We got the next Peyton. And Jim Irsay then said, man, if Andrew Luck's career ends like Peyton's with just 1 Super Bowl, it's a failure. And I saw this team be good, but not great. And I saw Luck show the full potential in year 3, and then in year 4 not be able to duplicate it. Year 5 not be able to duplicate it. And what I didn't know was he was playing almost literally with an arm tied behind his back. And we saw last year, after he missed a full season, after he had the first month and a half of season to knock off the rust, how good he actually is. That year 3 version, except smarter, and now with a good offensive line and a defense that actually knows what it's doing. Better front office, better coaching staff, and from week 7 until the Chiefs whooped them, they were the best team in the NFL in almost every category. They allowed the fewest sacks. The defense was awesome. Luck was spectacular. And so I do feel badly because I was out here on Colin Cowherd's show comparing his career to Ryan Tannehill. My first ever blind reveal was that one. And now that one looks dumb, and I get that. But I didn't know he was hurt. And this was where athletes get a bum rap for playing through injury. You're better off to say, man, I can't play, than say, no, I'll gut through it, because you got people like me that don't know you're hurt and say,
you saw last year with Cam Newton.
absolutely, how good are you really? So what do I think his ceiling is? I think his ceiling's league MVP and their ceiling's winning a Super Bowl. Like, I think they have a really, really good team in place. I like the draft pick of Paris Campbell. The offensive line is extraordinary. The defense is good enough. And Luck's the guy that you've been saying he is the whole time I've known him.
And, Coach, I don't think you're more impressed with the front office, how they've managed it, how they didn't overspend, how they didn't overreact to L. Bell, and his overall recovery. I think that you're high on the Colts in the direction they're going in.
Yeah, they're in a unique position. Everybody talks about building through the draft, and that's what you want to do because it gives you the best position financially to retain the young talent or to go get pieces in free agency to help support the young talent. They've got a quarterback that can lead them to the Super Bowl or multiple Super Bowls. And here they are with 7 draft picks on defense, on a defense that was already pretty good. Plus, they added some draft picks on the offense, and they still have the most salary cap space in the league.
Yes.
That's a pretty good position to be in long term. So I like that. Now, the question I have is, did they address the medical staff there? The way that injury was handled last time, that's an area where when they evaluate this injury, is it the same group that was evaluating the last injury, or have they made some strides there? That's
a couple things.
I'd be looking at that.
Watch their right tackle, Brandon Smith. He could be a liability. And see if the numbers as far as sacks go up this year. I believe that they will. Andrew Luck was so good last year getting rid of the football that maybe that offensive line is not as good as the quarterback. He prevented a lot of those sacks by getting rid of the football.
And, Coach, you see what I just did right there? I hope it's a good template for you, because in about 12 months, you're going to have to look in that camera and do the same thing for Patrick Mahomes. Just letting you know.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.